What's going on, guys? Pretty big video today, if I do say so myself. So we're going to be talking about the permanent closure, and I totally saw this coming, by the way, of 3 rides at Great Adventure. So it was, largely speculated for a while that Green Lantern and Twister would both be closing permanently on this past November 10th, which was this past Sunday. And the park actually announced a year ago that the Parachute Tower was going to be closing, and actually, no, it started in 2023. They announced that the whole 2023 season went by, the whole 2024 season went by, and it sat closed, but they did nothing as far as demolition is concerned. But as of yesterday, Tuesday, November 12th, demo permits have been filed for Green Lantern, the Parachute Tower, and Twister. And so that pretty much means that all 3 of those are done for. They're pretty much gone now. So Twister was kind of a ball-crushing ride anyway, I'm going to be honest, so in no way am I sad that that one's going. Parachute Tower, I mean, I had a little bit of sentimental attachment to it, but then again, I don't know how I could really be that sad about it. The last time I did it was 2018, and, that closure kind of came out of nowhere. Actually, it didn't really come out of nowhere. I kind of saw it coming, because it was really the only one of those that were left, and they aren't making parts for that anymore. So, eventually they were gonna have no choice, right? And Green Lantern closing, I firmly believe that this was being considered even before the merger. Like, if you asked me, like, even like 2 years before the merger, what coaster do you think is on the chopping block next? I would say Green Lantern, just because a lot of people generally the ride's been very polarizing anyway for pretty much the whole time it's been there. It has its fans, but it has people that absolutely despise it as well. And I was indifferent to it. Like, let's say I first wrote 2013, in 2016 I got my first bad ride on it, or one of my first anyway, and then the rides I had on it after that, from 2016 to 2022, were all pretty brutal. And then that was where, 2016 to 2022, I only rode it maybe twice a season. And then last summer, the 2023, I finally figured out how to ride it, and I realized it was actually an enjoyable and intense ride, if you know how to ride it correctly. So, I'm a little sad that one's going, but, this one's easy to take compared to Ka, at least for me. Like, I don't have the sentimental attachment to this that I had to Ka. So, yeah, I mean, Scream Machine closing had no effect on me, because, well, I wasn't really riding anything other than the kid rides at the time. And Rolling Thunder closing in 2013, I really wasn't shedding any tears over that one either. This I'm really not, Ka is that's a whole story in its own. So, yeah, and I firmly believe that this was being considered before the merger. And honestly, this is just a theory I had. I could be wrong on this, but I'm thinking maybe they were considering removing Green Lantern 2, and they wanted to wait to do the demolition on the Parachute Tower until they confirmed Green Lantern was going as well. That's just a guess, but I think it's totally possible. And, so yeah, because that leaves, removing all 3 of those leaves a pretty big amount of land to work with, and we might not be done. Now, people have said, I'm going to give my feedback on this too, people have said that, Ka might be, the future of Ka might be a little bit brighter now. The demo permits are filed for Green Lantern, but not that. I personally do not think so. Like, it's maybe a tad, looking a tad better now than it did a couple days ago, but Ka is not out of the woods. I'm just going to say that. It is not, in no way. So, here's kind of, the issues I see with that. So, people have said a reimagining. I personally think that's off the table, because I know Cedar Fair has not had a very healthy relationship with Intamin, and they'd have to be brain dead, fucked in the head, to go with Zamperla again after all Top Thrill 2 went. So, and I don't really know what other manufacturer they'd use for, a project that scale, for a reimagining of Ka like that. I mean, I thought Zamperla for Top Thrill 2 was a kind of a wacky decision in the first place, and clearly it's been a disaster, but yeah, I personally, there are some people that are, holding out hope for Ka still. I'm personally still bracing for the worst with that, but that's just me. Like, I think what's a lot more likely is that, Kyle will get demoed as well, and then they'll have a massive extensive B&M Giga to replace both of them. That's personally what I think is the most likely, especially since Cedar Fair's had a pretty good relationship with B&M. That's what I think is personally going to happen. People have said Mach Extreme Spinner. That's not out of question either. People have said a launch 400-foot one. I personally don't see that. That sounds a little... Yeah, I personally don't see that. But if it happens, I'm all for it. But yeah, I think if they go with the Mach Extreme Spinner, it's going to be a smaller one. And I personally think that'd be amazing for the Great Adventure. It would fill some pretty substantial gaps in the lineup. But yeah, I guess only time will tell. Now, yeah, I think, the future of Ka, personally, to me, I'm not feeling too confident. I mean, we'll see what happens as the park gets more updates, but I'm also thinking maybe that the demo permits for Green Lantern came first because it's a much smaller project. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I personally, if you ask me, the demo permits coming for that first and not Ka don't mean anything. That's just me. Could be wrong. I sincerely hope I am, but that's kind of the way that I'm doing this right now. So, yeah, and if I had to be real, I'm just gonna be real with you guys here. I mean, Ka is really the first coaster closer at Great Adventure that's really affected me, because it's like, and riding things for so long, I have a sentimental attachment to it, and I was honestly too much of a mess to even be on camera after getting off my last ride ever. I'm just gonna spit that out now, and I have a feeling that, if I'm gonna be a wreck if and when the demo permits get filed. Yeah, that's not gonna be pretty. So, yeah, I figured I'd just, spit that out, and I'm sure I'd be very surprised I'm the only one. I mean, zoo going, that's kind of sad as well, but I think it's even more sad that they literally had it sit closed for 80% of the year, taking, and even, taking down the sign completely. And they didn't even really give a reason. They just let it sit closed 80% of the year, so I think, that one would have been cooked no matter what happened with Ka. But I think that, what's going on with Ka right now, I do not think this is the last of that with this new, so-called Six Flags Entertainment Corporation. I think there could be a lot of other coasters in danger, but, it's a whole another topic for a whole nother video, and this is not going to be a 30-minute video. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll definitely be making another video when the Ka demo permits get filed, if they do, which I'm personally expecting, maybe next couple weeks, but only time will tell. Pretty much it.